everybody, it's the Coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And, Coach, we find ourselves due east from our nation's capital at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Redskin team as they enter play here. They come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Giants, they can't be any better as we hit the halfway mark. A perfect 7-0 on the year.
And when we looked at this team in August and we looked at the schedule, we thought they had the potential to get off to a hot start, but I don't think either of us expected 7-0.
Both of these teams about to reach the halfway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. And a glance here at their quarterback standing 6'3".
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering some snacks.
I was just going to say.
That's where I go.
On 1st and 10, Sherwood. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. And a quick look at Washington's offense.
And I think we'll see a renewed sense of urgency out of this team this week because they have to make sure they don't waste this homestand. They had a home game last week, lost it. Now they've got the second straight. They've got to take advantage of it, get a win before they head out on the road.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. They'll run for the first time with Austin Eckler. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards is the pickup, and it's good for a Washington first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. The numbers from last week's game for Ebron. 6 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown.
You think the head coach and the offensive coordinator are able to pull the earplugs out now? Because all week, all they heard was, you know, Coach, they can't guard the pass at all. I mean, they're next to last in the league. Let's throw it on every down.
Yeah, last week we saw the numbers. This week going against second to last in the pass defense area. Good for him. Throwing on first down. Sherwood. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. He's had a fantastic rookie season, made a lot of lovely throws, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw because for the most part, what they've seen, it's been pretty sensational.
And New York set to take the field.
Ready. 15, Ronnie. 15, Ronnie. Strip that ball. Smooth. 35 to Mike. Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now. Mike, hit it.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. A gain of 6 there on first.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so because then you turn it into a shootout. And that means your offense has to keep pace. And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon.
Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Darius Slayton. His 6th touchdown of the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, they had gone run the previous play. Nice little setup. This time they go play action. Defense bites a bit, and they hit for a big play in the end zone.
So they sold it really well, didn't they? Because of just what you described. They ran in the previous play, come back with the same action, and now they step back and throw it and get a big play for a touchdown. But what happens as a defensive back is your eyes have to go to the right place. You always hear Coach talk about, are your eyes in the right spot? Well, this time the eyes went to the play action. It froze their feet. They weren't moving, and he went on past them and caught the pass for a touchdown.
Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out up comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
A look at the starters now on the defensive side of the ball for the Giants. They've been pretty much a mess against the pass, number 31 in the league.
And those are the kind of plays that this unit needs to make because they know that going against a team of this magnitude and the way that they're playing, they cannot afford to let them get on a roll early. Chip away at their timing.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Off play action. Sherwood slings this deep, and that's caught inside the 35. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This will be fielded at the 8. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
It's a gain of 11 and a Giant first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Able to force him out of the pocket right, but still able to complete it. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A gain of 32 that time. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. That's complete to Slayton. First down for the Giants as they pick up 12. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
This quarterback now already at 100 yards passing in this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. Now Saquon Barkley, and able to surge forward for about 5 yards down to the 10. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 12 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, he's the number 2 runner in the league, and you just know the offensive line wants to get him to number 1 because most of the good ball carriers, they take care of their linemen. Could be a gold watch in their future if he becomes a leading rusher.
Gets this out to Saquon Barkley, and he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard. Line.
Complete to Saquon Barkley. 1st and goal, New York.
Ready? 8, read. We won. Count them out, work. Take 3. 218, chop. Ready?
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And he is in. Touchdown, New York. Saquon Barkley with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Giants have taken the lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Rosas now to add the PAT. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. A drive that time of 6 plays. And the rookie Saquon Barkley, the one who finishes things off with a touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
It'll go as a pickup of 14 and a Washington first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage just come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Sherwood. He completes it to Westbrook. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
That's complete to Austin Eckler, the running back. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down. From the gun, Sherwood. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. 2nd interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on it. His teammates are going to check on it because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. Kyle Van Noy in on the stop.
Well, they had that one snipped out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
The throw over the middle, taken in. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Redskins scoop it. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. On 2nd down, Eckler. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
So the drive takes them into Giants territory now. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. The open man is Westbrook. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the 1st down marker is here on 3rd. Operating from the gun, Sherwood. And he finds McLaurin. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 32-yard line.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. Running on 1st down, Eckler. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Let's go, Big Sears right here. We got to step it up.
To throw on 2nd down, Sherwood. He'll get this over to Westbrook. It's complete. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. Now Jason Sanders for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 45 yards away. And this one is right down Broadway. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the 2nd quarter. Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for Evan Ingram, the tight end, but it's going to be 2nd down. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. That's caught by his tight end, Dawson Knox. 17 yards and a Giant 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. He's got the 1st down here inside the 30. And he gets this one down to the 24. Give him 18 there, and the Giants have a 1st down.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
So a solid run by Saquon Barkley, and another 1st and 10 here. Now they'll run on the draw. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 13. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. O'Shane Zimenez in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. 2 minutes remaining in this 1st half of football. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Slings this deep from McLaurin. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40.
I think it's pretty safe to say that initially they had to be thinking about trying to get into field goal range. But after that shot right there, they've got to be thinking bigger right now.
And that was probably their thought offensively. If we hit this, great, let's go for the end zone. If not, settle for a field goal. Looks like they can try to hit pay dirt. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. 2nd and 2. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Redskins now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this 1st half. This quarterback now over 200 yards already in this 1st half. It's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Sherwood looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. 2nd and 1. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Back to throw. Sherwood. 30-yard line. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime.
Jason Sanders on for the field goal.
The kick by Sanders is good. And the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Saquon Barkley and the Giants offense set to kick off their next drive. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
This is Coleman with the ground. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. A big play there as the first half is winding down. And the Giants strike quickly here for 6 points.
Well, if the plan is to come in here and go toe-to-toe with these guys, it certainly does not hurt if you hit them with a big shot along the way, too.
That's got to give them some confidence. And the other thing right now, it quiets this crowd, at least for the time being.
Yeah, that is what is called the intended consequence of their actions.
PAT up and good by Rosas. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Our first update now comes from Atlanta. And the Eagles out in front early. Andy Isabella sitting right at 100 yards receiving in that ball game. Just 11 seconds to go in the half as they have it 1st and 10. From the gun, Sherwood. That's into the hands of Westbrook over the middle. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Looking to throw. Sherwood. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 33. So we have reached halftime here in what's an 8-point game. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Hi again, everybody. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the league here in the unofficial midway point, Week 8 of the NFL season. We'll begin with a couple of teams that have represented the NFC in the Super Bowl in recent years. Atlanta playing host to visiting Philadelphia. And in the second quarter, it is the Eagles who are out in front. Andy Isabella, 100 yards receiving on the nose and a touchdown catch as well. From there, we head up to Foxborough to check on the Patriots at home at Gillette Stadium. And they've got the lead at halftime over the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Jacoby Brissett, a touchdown pass in that first half. Finally, we'll save the biggest for last. We head to AT&T Stadium to see what's happening with the Cowboys at home in Arlington. And it's the visiting Minnesota Vikings who are out in front. Josh Dotson up over 100 yards receiving with 2 touchdown grabs. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. And New York set to take the field. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give them a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. They're going to look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Williamson. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That's a gain of nearly 40 yards on 3rd and medium to pick up the first. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the 3rd quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. They'll set up to throw. Flushed out right. Finds his tight end Ingram.
They don't want it, fellas. They don't want it.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Here we go. 90 Wolf.
They'll set up a throw. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 8 yards there on a 1st down. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
They'll drop the throw. That's going to be caught. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So now we look at the Redskins offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. picked off at the 36. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
First down, Giants on a pickup of 14.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
59. Oh, you got
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
Haven't met a defensive coordinator yet that thinks 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. Playbook is wide open for an offense, partner.
Nice job. Hold him to 1 after that 8-yard pickup on first down. Yeah, they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And while it didn't work very well on that play, defenders on 3rd and short know it's going to be a quick read. And really, the quarterback's just going to turn around and hand it off. So that way, you're able to diagnose the play and try and get to the point of attack. But when you're dealing with
nowhere to go here, he lost the football.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. And that is caught. He's got it for a Giant touchdown. From 6 yards away. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This one taken from the 7. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. And last time, 1 play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
Once more, here's Eckler. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 45-yard line. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Sherwood. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Sherwood. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. It was a kicker from that distance, 56, 57 yards. So many things you got to worry about, but I am a little surprised he didn't get it there.
Yeah, with the way kickers are nowadays, we're surprised anything under 65 that it doesn't get at least to the crossbar. But remember this, you have to drive it a little bit lower in order to make that distance, and you also have to be worried about the interior rush that they can get their hands on it. So that's why those stronger kickers nowadays who can pop it up in the air and still travel and carry it, that's what you're looking for.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. He'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Redskins scoop it. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Now they'll have it 1st and goal following that gain of 17. He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. Sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there, and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. 2 of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Off the play fake. Sherwood. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. Dexter Lawrence able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
In their mind, certainly a field goal try would be a letdown. They had the great starting field position. Now facing 3rd down. On the ground, it's Eckler. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. They got 8 yards out of it, but they're still left with a 4th and goal from a ways out.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. On 4th down, Sherwood. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt, and the Giants are going to get the football back. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. It doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
A good start to the drive. Here's that's caught out on the left side. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That goes for a gain of 31. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this fourth quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game. Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Montez Sweat just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. No, bottled up, fumble. It's out, it's loose. Into the Redskins have it, they do.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
The Redskins have the first down on a pickup of 18. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Sherwood. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. That is caught inside the 5. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. This offense can certainly move quickly when they want to. 3 plays, 3 pass completions. In the blink of an eye, they've got a 1st and goal.
Almost felt like a lightning bolt hit in this game, didn't it, for them to get downfield that quickly?
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Redskins. Austin Eckler, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Redskins are able to close the gap just a bit.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive.
Well, partner, since this new 2-point rule came into play, offenses spend a lot more time working on it. That means the defenses are doing the exact same thing.
This one taken just inside the 10. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. So now the Giants set to take over on offense. They've got the lead right now, and remember, they are riding that very impressive 7-game winning streak, trying to push it to 8. They begin with a run by Barkley. He's got a 1st down and then some at midfield. And finally brought down at the 38. 23 yards on the pickup there and a 1st.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Bravo!
Back to throw. They'll get this out to Barkley complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. This gain not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the 2. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. They'll keep it on the ground. Childress, and he will force his way forward for a yard or two, but I have a good feeling this will be coming back. So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
Back to throw here. He'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Evan Ingram, his second touchdown on the season. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead. They had the lead in the fourth, but still passing. Finding the big target for the touchdown. Now that lead grows even more.
Everybody gets to join in the fun. You know, it doesn't have to just be the wide receivers catching touchdown passes. The tight end doesn't just have to do just the dirty work inside. He gets a chance to get into the end zone as well.
Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And the stats on the screen tell the story. A great start. This defense, they made some good adjustments, so he's fallen off since.
Have to like what they did at the half, but you also have to like the fact that they hung in there. Despite the fact they had a tough first half, he was locked in, right? Rocking and rolling. They came out, made their adjustments, got their confidence back. Now they're causing him all sorts of trouble.
It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's second and 11. Second and 11. He completes it to Westbrook. And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. The Redskins on third down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll try to pick up the first with Eckler. And he will have a first down here at about the 40.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Giants touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or 2.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
Rosas good with the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And they just had that pick 6. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. You know, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there. It's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it here. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return, and it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. The New York set to take the field, and a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
Ready, break. 49's the mic. 49's the mic. Watch the slant. Topper, topper. Fuzz, fuzz.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Steps away to his left. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a 1st down. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Flush to his right. Open man right side is Ingram. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a Giant 1st down on a gain of 16.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a 1st down with a nice throw.
Around the NFL 4th quarter right now in Atlanta. And an impressive display by the Eagles. They continue to pour it on, scoring again. Carson Wentz, 3 touchdown passes thus far. They go play action here on 1st down. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it a 2nd down. The Redskins now going to use the 1st of their 3 timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. 2nd and 6. The open man is Westbrook. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game.
70, Indy. Hey, watch the leg.
From the gun on 3rd down, Sherwood. And he finds McLaurin. And the ball is knocked out. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When you go to the backup, let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And now here's a sneak, maybe looking to run a little time. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. Now the Pro Bowl kicker, Aldrich Rosas. Last year, he hit one from 57. This will be from 56 yards out. And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then, this game's over. Well, a little drama there at the end, but really this thing was already decided. The late points get scored, and then it ends on the kickoff.
And I'm right there with you, partner. At the end of the game, they knew what they had to do. Just make sure you don't cough up the football at the end. Just take care of it, and victory was theirs, and that's exactly what they did.
So for the Giants, they continue to cruise through this first half of the schedule as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Redskins, the struggles intensify as they drop to 2-6 now on the year. And they'll take this loss into the bye as they'll be back in action in Week 10. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.